demanding answers following a New Delhi factory fire that killed at least 43 people. The factory manager and owner has been arrested.
The blaze is one of the deadliest in the Indian capital. Fire broke out in the early hours while around 100 workers were sleeping inside the six-story building. There's been no official word yet on the cause, but poor urban planning and work safety enforcement have often been blamed for similar incidents.
Well, for the latest, Neha Punia joins us from New Delhi right now. Neha, we know the factory owner and manager has been arrested, but do we know what charges have been brought against them?
That's right. Several hours after that blaze broke out on Sunday, the police confirming that owner of the factory and the manager have both been detained. They've now been booked for culpable homicide and also for negligence. And the police are confirming that this was an illegal structure. Not only that, it also didn't have any of the adequate fire clearances in place. And we're given to understand that there were 4 stories. Each floor had a different manufacturing unit in place, things like plastic, paper, cloth, a lot of flammable material which allowed that fire to spread very quickly. There were many violations in place as well. No fire sprinklers, extinguishers, an exit staircase that could have been used as an emergency exit by these workers was blocked as well. So the police are saying that all of these negligent points are now going to be looked into by this probe, the results of which will be out in 1 week's time.
This incident is the latest in a series of fire tragedies to hit India. What has been done to address this?
It's the second deadliest tragedy we've seen in Delhi in the last 20 years, and many of these men had no choice but to sleep on the premises of that manufacturing unit because they all came from very poor families. They were earning less than $2 per month, and this was just a way to save costs. And instead of sort of starting off a conversation on why India's construction permits and fire safety permits and enforcement of those rules is so very lax, we're seeing a lot of political blame game. You have different political parties in power, both at the municipal and the Delhi government level. You also have another party at the federal front as well. So all of these parties now pointing fingers at one another, saying that the other one was at fault. But locals on the ground say that for years now, irrespective of whichever party has been in power here in Delhi and at the state level, they've been flagging off this issue to local authorities, but to no avail. They've told them that there are many illegal structures that are coming up literally overnight because land prices are so cheap there, and nothing was done. They're saying that something needs to change because the rest of the area where this fire took place in the old quarters of Delhi is like a tinderbox just waiting to go up in flames unless something is done very, very soon. And they're hoping that a fire audit will at least be conducted in the days ahead.
All right, thanks for that, Neha. We'll come back to you shortly. While we're staying in India, the lower house of Parliament has passed the controversial Citizenship Amendment Bill. It now goes to the upper house for its vote.
And the proposed legislation aims to provide citizenship to non-Muslim refugees from neighboring Muslim countries like Pakistan and Bangladesh.
This marks the first time India is looking to grant nationality based on religion. The bill has sparked widespread protests in the northeast of India, and it has stirred up spirited debate in the lower house, which is dominated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's BJP party and its allies.
And critics charge that the bill is part of Mr. Modi's Hindu nationalist agenda to marginalize Muslims. Neha joins us again for this. So, Neha, what are the chances of this bill being passed as law? And if it does, do we know when that's going to happen?
India's constitution mandates that, beg your pardon, the constitution mandates that any bill before it becomes a law needs to be approved by both houses. This bill will most certainly pass the test of the lower house where, like you said, the BJP, Prime Minister Modi's party, enjoys a complete majority, and it's going to be tabled in the upper house on Tuesday. Now, this is where the real test for the BJP is going to be, but we've seen in the last few months the BJP has pushed through some very controversial bills in the upper house, including that bill to strip Kashmir of its autonomy. It was something that many opposition parties were opposed to, but in the end, the BJP managed to pull together enough votes for that bill to be approved. In this case, we're given to understand something similar might happen. Many regional parties have said that they will stand by the BJP as well. And once this bill becomes a law, if it does, then many are accusing the BJP of trying to use this legislation to try and give legitimacy, to give citizenship to many people who've been left off that controversial citizenship test that was conducted earlier this year in the state of Assam, where many critics say Hindus were left out when the real target of that test were Muslims coming into India from neighboring Bangladesh. Of course, a charge that the BJP has denied.
All right, thanks for that. Neha Punya speaking to us from New Delhi.